Uh-oh, what day is it? What day is it? It is hump day, everybody, and it's time to go live. Let me punch in some stuff on put one up there in case I get anybody jumping in real quick. I'm hoping I get some chats here. So just gonna be going over setting yourself up for success, especially during troubled times. And as you know, hey, the price of everything's going up. So you know it's time to get everything ready. You have to be ready for what's coming. And what's coming? Well, we'll go over that in a second. First, a little drink for myself. Wet the whistle. So, what's happening right now? All this crap with Ukraine. We got all the stuff here in the U.S. going on, and we got everybody freaking the hell out. Well, why is that? Well, it's as some people would put it, it's a controlled demolition of the current of our current society or societies in this case. That's what certain people do is they demo society so that they can end up saying, hey, let's build something else in its place. But while that's happening, you see what's going on right now. Things are falling apart brick by brick, and time to set yourself up, make yourself better. Okay, so that way you can weather the storm. As Survivor Man would say, you're either preparing for the weather or you're dealing with it. I think I just said that backwards, but you get my point. So, anyways, the storm is pretty much on us. Are you ready to weather it? Well, it's just that simple. First things first, I want to talk about everybody's favorite, which is physical fitness. Okay. Physical fitness for everybody should be a forefront in your mind. Now, I see a lot of people out there walking the roads. I mean, just walking is better than nothing. I mean, we have a very, very static lifestyle. We Most of us eat nothing but shit as far as fast food goes. So, so what are we gonna do about it? What can we do about it? All right, and what we can do about it is we can go exercise. Now, if you've watched any of my previous videos, you know that I put a lot of things out there as far as the step by step by step. Do not jump from step 0 to step 20. I mean, if you do that, you're going to get hurt. And it's just a guarantee, and you're going to drive yourself into the ground. Okay, you start small, push ups, sit ups if you want, squats are excellent. Doing a plank for a minute, just for a minute, is a whole lot better than nothing. And why do I say stuff like this? Is because that is how you start. Everybody starts and restarts at 0. I've said this so many freaking times. I'm tired of saying it, but I just got to keep saying it. Everybody starts and restarts at 0. Why? Because you have to. Pure and simple. I've had to restart so many times just because of the way things go that. Hold on. I just had to jump that in. Uh, just in case somebody jumps in, I want to know if the sound is actually working. I can't hear it. Is what it is, the way my setup is, which, as you can see, is pretty sparse. Regardless, when you start at 0. Everyone restarts at 0. I've just said that. But to make my point, very solid, is you need to prime the body. Just like when you paint, you have to put primer on, or else the paint doesn't stick right. Just like when you start a vehicle for the first time, you have to prime it for it to start. It won't work. And if you don't prime it and you start that at level 0, well, what's going to happen is you're going to screw up those first 3 weeks. And the first 3 weeks, those 3 weeks are paramount, people. If you're starting to work out, I want you to remember this. The first week is tough. The second week is worse. On the third week, you can't argue with the results at all. That's when it starts to get a little easier and you're in your rhythm. Until then, your body is going to fight you because your body wants to be a lazy bitch. Okay, that's just the way it is. Your body wants to be lazy. Your body, your mind, everything wants to be lazy. You can't let it. Now, one of the easiest ways to do this, and I do it myself, hold on, is you keep a journal. Okay, somebody actually bought this for me, and you write down what you're going to do every day, and you check them off as you do them. And at the end of the day, when you go to sleep, you check off as many as you can. You see what you did or what you still have to do. I see a couple on here that I still have to do before I go to sleep. But tomorrow, I will make sure I did or didn't do what I did or didn't want to do. I know that sounds weird, but you understand what I mean. And then the next day, I put a lineup. Here's what I want to do. Here's my schedule for the morning. Here's what I got to do in the morning. Here's what I have to get done throughout the day. That's standard. And then another column specifically for extras. What extra stuff do I have to do today? Do I have to go to the bank? Do I have to go grocery shopping? Do I have to, I don't know, run an extra mile on the treadmill? Whatever it might be. But you have to keep yourself to that. All right. Now, along with that, before anybody freaks out, I was like, oh man, that seems so hard. This is why you want to go between a hard and a soft reset. Again, if you've seen my videos, you know exactly where I'm going with this. A soft reset is exactly what it sounds like. It's soft. The soft reset is you're dealing with 1, 2, or 3 things in your life. That's it. Just it's focused. It's right there. A hard reset is you're resetting everything. Now, somebody who's like saying, trying to quit smoking, and that's all they're doing, that's a soft reset. It's going to be difficult. Don't get me wrong. I've seen plenty of people have to quit smoking. Me personally, I get the shakes real bad when I do smoke. So it's easy for me to not continue. I was addicted at one point and I got the hell off of that, but that's another story, which I'll tell you in a minute. But that's a soft reset. That is one part of who you are. Now, as far as the whole, I have to reset everything, you'll find that if somebody goes through something traumatic, if it's a breakup, if it's a loss of a job or something like that, where they have to move, that's a hard reset. Some of it's by choice, some of it's not. Depends on your situation. There is no one cookie cutter option for everybody. It doesn't happen. Okay, so keep that in mind whenever you're doing this. So, sorry, I was just checking something. But everyone's different on that one. Okay, your physical fitness is setting you up for success. Now, one of the main issues, and this is mainly for women, not really for us guys. Okay, this is for women. Since you are socially designed to be the queen bee, the number one, you have to be on the social totem pole, or else, oh my God, your world is just cracking and blowing and farting all over the place. Look, you're going to get a lot of other women who are going to try and grab you and pull you down. That's what you women are great at. The guys do that, some do, and they don't have many friends when people figure this shit out. Okay, grabbing somebody and pulling them down, that's just that's Napoleon syndrome, not short man syndrome. Those are two different things. Short man syndrome is you're trying to look bigger than everyone else. Napoleon syndrome, you're trying to drag everyone down. You know, short man trying to be up, Napoleon is down here already, and they're trying to pull you down. I don't know how else to put it. Regardless, ladies, you have to drown out those other females, especially who are going to say, oh, you shouldn't do that. I can't do that. So you can't do that. I want you to respond. Just remember, tell them to piss the fuck off. Those lazy fucking whores. They want to be fat and disgusting, and no guy would can't even drink them up to a 2. It's just I've dealt with these women before, and they're like, "Oh, what's wrong with me?" Fuck off. I mean, seriously. Oh dear God. It's funny when you have somebody who's really quick on the verbiage. I'm not as good. I'm not Terrence Pop. I'm not Ben Shapiro. I'm not Jordan Peterson. It'd be nice if I could be as quick as those guys on the verbiage. My brain works as fast. It's just I have trouble spitting out the words. Regardless, you have to cut, and you've heard this before, cut the toxic people from your life. You will know the toxic people in your life the moment that you see these folks and they start trying to drag you down. They say, oh, you're too skinny for that, you're too small for that, blah 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 blah. To hell with them. Get on your grind and stay there. Your grind is there for a reason. Back in when I grew up, people kept saying, put your nose to the grindstone. Well, unfortunately, when I grew up, that whole phrase was out of date, very out of date. And seriously, okay. But a lot of people don't realize that you got to keep grinding on. It's more like grinding on the head of an axe if it's dull. But you got, even if after a couple swipes you don't have it, you just keep going. The nose of that axe, or you put it on a grindstone and you keep going until it's sharp. That's where that comes from. And then we just call it the grind, as in you're grinding through life, as you're grinding through levels in your world of I don't know what account. Seriously, people, get that's one thing about success is video games. We'll get into that in a minute. Regardless, you get a regiment. That regiment doesn't just have to be the gym. Wake up in the morning. I want you to do this. Wake up in the morning, every morning, after you go relieve yourself. When you come back in, make your bed. If you can do that, you've accomplished one thing. And somebody else said it best. I wish I remembered who it was, because I would give them props right now. And by all means, take this, stitch it together with whoever said that, because they are telling the fucking truth. You accomplish one thing, and that'll get you going in the morning. Now, as far as health is concerned, setting yourself up for success, there are several things you can do to help yourself out. One, cut as much of the artificial sugar bullshit out of your system as you can. Cut as much of the fast food out as possible. If you can, cut it all the way out. Now, I will say for a lot of you, you will be very, very hungry, because if you have fast food once a day, even if you're just eating normal meals after that, you're still putting in triple, quadruple the amount of calories you require just to get through the day. It's no wonder you're fat. So if you cut those out, don't be surprised if your body's like, where's the calories? Where's the calories? Grumble, grumble, grumble. You're going to feel hungry. And one of the easiest tricks is you drink something. Now, I recommend water. I don't recommend during the day you drink Scottish water. But that's an old survivalist trick, actually, and that's you continue to drink water if you can, and that fights off the hunger pains. Not to mention it filters through the body, cleanses your body of a lot of junk. Granted, you're going to be getting up to go to the bathroom a lot, but just realize that if you're pissing straight clear, you have enough in your system. And if you're a saltaholic, as in you put salt on everything, salt is great. I'll take the salt lick and I'll just bite into it. If you're that type of person, you're gonna need to flush a lot of that out of your system. Be forewarned though. If you do flush your system a lot, you might overdo it and your body might come up a little too short on sodium. That's something you can't fully cut out. Regardless, I want you to make sure that you drink plenty of water. That is one of the key things, is to drink a lot of water. Make sure that you feel a little bit full so you don't eat as much. It fights the hunger pains, and it's one of the key items in weight loss. And by the way, that is not fat phobic. If you call me fat phobic, because you can't see it, but I got some gut on me I'm trying to get rid of. It's not because I'm afraid of that. If I was actually fat phobic, if that was a thing, I would look down at this gut and I would freak the hell out every time I looked at it. And I would be so scared I would shit my pants. The only people who are fat phobic quite literally have zero fat on their body. And without medical assistance, they're freaking dead. Get it yet? You fat fucknut. I don't give a shit. If I hurt your feelings because you're some fat, disgusting, slobbering blob of a person, I think Rocket said it best. You look like melted ice cream. Guess what? Nobody wants a piece of that. Ice cream is delicious. But you're friggin' gelatinous. Sorry, I just threw up my mouth a little. Ugh. Just remember the last fat woman I saw who still thought she was all that in a bag of potato chips while she was eating the potato chips. Is no. And this whole, it's positivity. If that's the case, then how come you don't find fat men attractive? If you think it's body positive, then how come you're not immediately going to all the overweight guys and getting a protein injection from them? I'll wait for your bullshit excuse. Bring it. Because you love the double standard. Fuck the double standard. The only reason there's a separate standard for women as far as the fitness goes is because you do not process things the same way we do. It just doesn't happen. Your body chemistry is different. Your skeletal structure is different. The layout of your muscles is different. Believe it or not, women, you can actually lose weight faster than men if you know how. The problem is most of you don't have the wherewithal to do it. Now, if you're mad because I brought this up, good. Because if you're mad enough to hate the person you are just mad enough to kill that person to become the person you need to be. I don't know how else to put it. A lot of you, it's not just laziness. It's not just the sloth. It's the fact that you're afraid. You're afraid of killing the person you are because you are comfortable as the person you are. However, do you respect the person you are? I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. If you don't respect yourself because you're so fat and disgusting, and yet you try to, I just have a thyroid issue. There are very few people that falls under. They can take pills. They can slim down. So fuck you. I don't want to fucking hear it. I would say eat a dick, but you'd probably just put some hibachi sauce on it or whatever, sriracha, and eat the dick. I can guarantee it. Anyway, let's get back to success as far as the physical portion. I've already hit it. Now, I just want to touch on this last part when it comes to the physical. There are 3 sections that you need to worry about on your physical. That is your strength, your endurance, and your flexibility. On this one, this is where the duality between male and female come in, because out of those, the strength, men are naturally stronger. However, women are naturally more flexible. But guess what? Endurance, we both are there. Understand this. We both have endurance. Now, the size of the person will decide how much endurance they actually have. Obviously, somebody like Usain Bolt, who is basically a mutant, has larger lungs, longer legs. He can sprint like nobody's fucking business. Okay. Does that mean you give up because you're not going to be Usain Bolt? No, fuck that. You go as hard as you can and you get as far as you can. And then you build up your endurance. Now, start at 0. If all you can do is walk, then walk. Don't blow out your joints. I recommend that you talk to some sort of nutritionist. And I suggest that you all, and not Nutrisystem, because they just want to sell you shit, an actual doctor, an actual nutritionist, and talk to an actual doc. Okay. You may, depending on your size, need to talk to a physical therapist. These are the folks you need to talk to. Okay. Don't do the fad diets. But once you're on a regimen, stick to it. Now, this is, as far as that's concerned, I wanted to bring up the kids when it comes to the fitness. Now, you can actually start children on a fitness regimen. And ladies, or even guys, if you're at home with the kids, you can start a fitness regimen and the kids can be with you. It's not difficult to do. And guess what? They will emulate that. Use that to push you further. Use your child's well-being to make you a better person. I can't stress that any other way. You need to be a better person for them, and they will become a better person because of you. Now, for children in particular, what you're doing, remember what I said about priming at a young age, like 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to about 12, you're priming the body. You're priming the body of the young kids. You're priming them to be better. I'll give you a quick example. I was in the Army. Okay. We had a sergeant major, and he was about my age that I am now, maybe a little older. He was about 45. I'm not quite there yet. Maybe he was 50. I don't know. He had the white showing. Anyways, I was there. I didn't know. I was a young private, and all I hear is do the flip, do the flip, do the flip. I'm like, what the hell is he doing? This guy has not done gymnastics since he was about 13, 14 years old. In front of the entire battalion, he did a complete backflip and landed on his feet. He actually landed it. Didn't pre-stretch or anything. So when he landed, all you hear was, "Ooh, okay, I'm not doing that again," which was hilarious to the rest of us. But it was kind of cool. And that's when I realized that he had preset his body, just like I seen a fat guy who can still walk on his hands because he did gymnastics when he was a kid. I am a very big proponent of getting children into gymnastics. All right. It's a major deal to get kids into gymnastics. Even if it's just kiddie gymnastics and they learn to stretch. If they're constantly stretching themselves out, that stays with them. Now, on that note, okay, and this is a word of warning. Do the stretches and do the lifting correctly. If your form isn't right, you're going to hurt yourself. So make sure you know that somebody knows how to do it right, especially buddy assisted stretching. I don't know how many times I've cursed people out for doing it wrong, even when I just showed them how to do it right. One, I actually pushed him over because he was about to hurt his buddy. Regardless, if you want to prep your kids for success, this is how you do it. I was actually just with my nieces, and I showed them how to do the push-up, the squat, and the plank. And they did them with me. They didn't last very long. I think the most my eldest niece got to was about 5 squats before she's like, "Oh, yeah, ow, my legs are hurting." I'm like, "Yeah, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna happen." And then they both tried to plank. I think they were only there for about 5, 10 seconds, but it's better than nothing. And I highly recommend that they, and now obviously I can't force them in because they're not my kids, but I would put them in gymnastics because again, it primes the body. Most people that did gymnastics as a kid who didn't go Olympic gymnast style where they beat the holy piss out of themselves, they were set up for life physically. They don't have a lot of physical problems. Their body is preset. And if they stick with it even a little bit, they're going to keep that. They're going to keep their mobility. They're going to keep their power. They're going to keep their endurance. And I cannot stress this enough. You want to keep all that with you. That will set you up for success in a way that you just can't believe it until you're there. It's just absolutely insane. Now, the other way to set yourself up for success, and I'm shifting gears here, is financially. Okay. We're in some troubled times now, and I'm actually on my phone. I'm looking at the cryptos right now. And yeah, it's not doing all too well. It was a bad day for crypto. It was let me pull up Bitcoin for you. Yeah, there was Bitcoin. Yeah, that looks like shit. People lost out big today. But you don't have to get them in that market or yourself. As far as you go, the easiest way to control your finances is this. And most guys inherently know this, but it's sometimes you just got to hear it. Don't spend more than you bring in. I'm going to say that one more time in case it didn't stick. Do not spend any more than you bring in. Reason being is so you can have a little extra. Dave Ramsey goes over this. He has a great lecture on it. I believe it's free, but it's very simple. You pay down your debts as soon as you can. You build a reserve, and you build the reserve and you pay off your debts by limiting your spending and maximizing your profits. You try to bring in more and spend less so you have more in the middle there that you can use. And by the way, being out of debt is freaking great. If you don't rely on a credit card, it's such a weight off your shoulders. And guess what most couples argue about? Money. Anyway, once you build your reserve to how much money that's going to be, that depends on each person. Again, Ramsey goes over it. And I recommend you go to him and listen. And then after that, you can buy the lavish stuff that people can't afford because they piss their money away on stupid shit. And don't get me wrong, we all screw up a little bit. It's going to happen. You're going to screw up a little bit here, a little bit there. In some cases, a lot. Okay. The two places you're going to screw up the most is vehicles and houses. Is what it is. The housing market's a mess right now, and I'm not going to get into it. But one of the easiest ways to do this, to save cash, and I'm going to stick with cash right now. I'm not going to go into bonds. I'm not going to go into investments or anything like that, even though I did let's check the Bitcoin bit. The Bitcoin bit. Is every time you draw money from the ATM, take money from it, put an envelope somewhere. That's it. Now, again, if you've watched some of my other videos, this is going to be a quick 1, 2, 3 on how to be prepared for any type of problem. Is you will end up saving up $1,000. And how do you do that? Well, you need $200 in ones, $200 in fives, $200 in tens, $200 in 20s, $200 in 50s, and $200. Well, you don't really need hundreds at that point. You could. But the reason for the mix in denominations is, one, you don't know how much money you're going to have left over. And by the way, once the money goes into that envelope or that safe or that teddy bear that you hollowed out, wherever the hell you're going to shove it, it doesn't come back out unless you truly, truly need it. Like you blew the transmission on your vehicle, or you crashed your vehicle, or your vehicle set on fire. It's amazing how much of this goes around cars. But that's what you want to aim for. Is it going to happen overnight? No. The only one that's easy is if you draw out, say, $200 in 50s. That's only 4 bills. And then you put it in the thing. The other one take a while. Unless you go to a specific ATM and draw out $200 of each one every time you go. That's the only fast way, but not everybody has the ability to do that. If you're a young person out there, especially if you're a teenager, okay, I want you to, for the love of God, listen. Do this. Do not tell anybody where the money is. Don't even tell them that you're doing this. And hide that shit. Hide it someplace where only you know about, where nobody else goes, and just keep that money yourself. Do not be surprised when you show up with cash and you have a lot of people going, "Can I have some? You can pay for this. You can pay for my that." Well, where's the money you had? "Oh, I spent it. Yeah, on stupid shit. Now get out of my way because this is my cash. I saved this up. It's mine." Now, I will say that you are going to have to worry about inflation and stuff like that, but hey, it is what it is. If you don't know what inflation is, that's different video. I'm not going to go over it now. But especially if you're young, if you save that much cash, you should be good to go. It's kind of hard to not be able to do something when you got $1,000 spending cash. Now, another way to do it is if you are direct deposit, you simply have 2 accounts. And on the one account that you use, you have the majority of money. On your other one, you have an allotment. You send the money into there and don't touch it. Don't touch it. It just goes there and it stays there, preferably a savings account, so it builds interest. Even at 0.02%, it's something. And there you go. Now, as far as making more money, that's on you. Okay. You need to be willing to work for it. And that's it. But I recommend that with everything going on, you don't be ashamed of some really hard work. Okay. I'm actually off in the weeds compared to where I wanted to be today. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to try to get starting tomorrow if I can. Every day that I can, I'm going to do a live stream around 18:30. I'm going to start it then. And depending on how many people jump in, we'll stay around. And again, we'll set you up for success. And that's what I'm all about. That's me. That's what I am all about, because I've set up for failure way too many times in my life. And I want to set you up for success. Because you know what? That's what us crazy uncles want to do. We've already been through the ringer. We know how much it can suck. So you know what? I want to set you up for success, so you don't have to go through the same bullshit. Because you know what they say? A dumb man or a woman never learns from their mistakes. A smart man learns from their mistakes. but a wise man learns from the mistakes of others. This your crazy uncle, punching out.